Operating in the Courts of Heaven by Robert Henderson, Chapter 12. The Voice of Angels in the Court. Evidence is a very important element in any court case. Judgments are rendered on the basis of the evidence presented in court. A judge may know that a decision should be a certain way, but if there is no evidence to warrant the decision, the judge cannot render it. A dear Korean friend of mine that translates in a court system of a large American city told me a story that has sent to this point. It seems that a young lawyer was trying to present a case before a judge. He was having difficulty time in getting everything communicated properly. The judge in the situation actually stopped the young attorney and said, "Young man, I can see what you're trying to do here, but you're going to have to help me here." In other words, the judge in the situation wanted to render a verdict in favor of the case the young attorney represented, but could not until the evidence is properly presented. So it is in the courts of heaven. The righteous judge of all must have proper legal reasons presented to him for righteous verdicts to come forth. In the court of heaven, angels have the important task of gathering and presenting evidence. They release the necessary testimonies and evidence needed for God to render judgments. A husband and wife I know were involved in a wrongful death suit. One of their daughters had died in a traffic accident, and they believed that a trucking company was at fault. The evidence presented in the lawsuit confirmed the truck company was indeed at fault, and the judge rendered a verdict in their favor. At the conclusion of the trial, the judge approached the couple and expressed his sympathy for their loss. As a father, he emphasized with the pain of their situation and wanted to help them. As a judge, there was nothing he could do until the evidence was presented and he could legally render a judgment. The evidence warranted the judgment that the jury delivered, and it was evident the judge was pleased with the verdict. His years of judicial activity in our court system caused him to rejoice when justice was done. The judge of all also needs evidence presented that warrants the verdicts he desires. This is why I say it is our job to agree with the voices of heaven and present our case until we grant God, as judge, the legal right to fulfill his fatherly passion. All the voices of heaven operate for this purpose, but it is our job to agree with them until legal precedents are in place. God will never just render a judgment. He needs the input and agreement from the church on earth, because man has been given the authority on the earth realm. Psalm 115:16 says that the children of men have the God-ordained authority in the earth. The heaven, even the heavens, are the Lord's, but the earth he has given to the children of men. Psalms 115:16. The Lord will not normally overstep the authority he has granted us. If we, as humans, are in authority in the earth realm, then it is up to us to grant God the legal right to accomplish his will here. We must know how to exercise his authority in the courts of heaven to give God the legal right to intervene on earth. Angels are a huge part of this process. Hebrews 12:22 declares that there is an innumerable company of angels that is a part of the court system of heaven. The term innumerable and company in the Greek actually means a 10,000 myriad indefinite number. The word angels means a messenger and the one who brings tidings. There are innumerable angels in the courts of heaven that all have different jobs. Some are there to worship, some are there to declare and decree, and some are there to run with messages. There are at least 4 ranks of angels operating within the court system of heaven. I have heard teaching that says there are 10 ranks, but for our purpose we will deal with the 4. Colossians 1:16 names the thrones, dominion, principalities, and powers as dimensions of ranks. For by him all things were created there in heaven and that are on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created through him and for him. Colossians 1:16. People normally think of this as depicting a satanic hierarchy structure. This, however, is a structure in the spirit realm that operates in the satanic realm, but also in the heavenly realm. Satan is not a creator. Any structure that he uses was copied from what he had seen in heaven. He was a part of the hierarchy structure of heaven and knows it well. The structure was first and still is the structure of heaven. Notice that all these things were created through him and for him. All these ranks were created to assist the Lord in fulfilling his agenda. Let us look at these ranks of angels and attempt to understand some of the operations of this innumerable company.